Okay. So
Oh dear.
it'll be interesting to hear your side of this one. When did you first fall in love?
Oh, you mean with your dad or with somebody else?
Just when did you first fall in love?
My first fall in love was with Ronnie Anderson when I was 14.
14.
Yes.
Okay. So what is that? Eighth grade, ninth grade?
Well, it was ninth grade. I was probably 15 then, and he was just a lot of fun, and he was a great guy, but he wasn't a member of the church, and my mom and dad were very worried about that. And we
What
didn't really date to begin with. We just really hung out, and then we started dating. But the church did become an issue.
so let's go back. Where were you at the time?
I was in Burley,
Burley, Idaho.
Idaho.
Where you grew up.
Pardon?
Where Burley, Idaho is where you grew up,
That's
correct?
where I grew up. Yep.
Okay. Born in Montana, but grew up in Burley.
Yeah, we moved from Montana when I was 2 weeks old.
So you graduated from Burley High School.
Yes.
Okay. So you're in ninth grade. How old was Ronnie Anderson?
Ronnie was 17, maybe just a year older, and he went to Minico High School. Rupert.
Where did you guys meet? How did you guys meet?
I can't remember. I think probably at the high spot. I was a rollerblade server at the high spot. I served people on rollerblades, kind of like Sonic.
Roller skates. Roller
Roller
skates.
skates. Yeah,
Right.
roller
Okay.
skates, not blades, roller skates.
Did you have an outfit that you had to wear? Like a uniform?
I cannot remember. I'm thinking it was brown and yellow and it was just a t-shirt. I think that was all.
So do you remember the first time you met him?
I'm pretty sure it was at the high spot.
Okay.
He was a lot of fun. He had a cool car and all
What
that
did you
stuff.
so what did you love about him?
That he was just cute and a lot of fun. I was so immature.
Okay.
Didn't matter. He had a
Uh,
nice car. We could go to fun places, and
what kind of car did he have?
it was. I think his was the '57 Chevy with '57 Chevy. It was turquoise and white.
So this would have been what year would have this been for you? 60, 66, 67?
I graduated in high school in '64, so it would have been '60s.
The 60s.
'60.
1960 um
I would have been 14, so it might have been
61.
'61.
Okay. So 1961, you fell in love with Ronnie Anderson. But he had a nice car. He was cute. You were immature. How did you know that you were in love?
Oh, because when he kissed me, I felt good. I guess
Are you
that's.
sure? Are you sure that just wasn't your hormones talking, Mom? Or
I probably was, but I was too stupid to know.
okay. Did Grandma and Grandpa know that you guys kissed?
No, I didn't talk to my mom and dad about those kinds of things very much.
Did you talk to your sisters about it?
No, they were out of the picture. Dorothy was pretty much, we weren't real close when she was a senior and I was a freshman. We weren't very close.
Okay. Uh, so how long did you guys date?
Oh, maybe a year at the most. And it was weird because it doesn't seem like it was really dating. We would just go in the car and hang out.
When you
Like
say
we
hang
didn't
out,
go
do
to
you mean
movies,
when you say hang out, do you mean make out or just hang out?
just hang out. Like we didn't, sometimes we'd go to a drive-in movie and
Where
we'd go
where
get
was
hamburgers and that, but it wasn't not like today where you go on an official date.
okay?
I know that sounds weird, but
So the drive-in was the drive-in in Burley or was it
yes, it was the Orpheum Drive-In in between, it was in Paul, Idaho,
okay?
across the river.
What do you remember when they tore that down, or did it happen after you left?
Oh, it totally happened. It went on for years. I think it hasn't been in the last maybe, I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Okay, no, I'm just wondering. Do you remember any movies that you went and saw with Ronnie Anderson?
Nope.
Okay. Was it double features back then, or just one movie and then everybody went home?
Usually it was back to back, double features.
Did you guys go with other couples or groups of people, or is
Sometimes,
that everybody did, and as many
That's
people
just-
could fit in your car, or that's just what people did?
It was people just did it, and anybody, how many you could fit into your car.
So I don't think they had the technology to connect to the radio station. So was it the speakers through the ground and you
Yes,
just put it on your
speakers.
window?
Yes, just the metal speakers. We'd hang them in the window, and it was terrible. They had a huge playground in front of the drive-in theater, so that the kids could go down and play before the movie started. Seems so weird now, but anyway.
Well, I mean, not that I'm that old, but Orem used to have the Temp drive-in, right?
Yeah,
The
we
metal,
lived right behind it. We lived right behind the Tim Drive-In when you were a baby.
and then I think when I was in college, the one in Provo, you could connect. Something happened between when I was little and in college where you could connect to the radio, and you just turned it to a certain station.
And then they tore that down.
Yeah, and then they tore that down. They tore them both down. There's one up here in West Valley near us, and it's got 6 or 7 movies. So you park in the middle, and everybody's facing out, and then all
Well, that's cool. I know Laura has taken the kids there before, I think.
So you dated or were together with Ronnie. Would you consider him your boyfriend?
Oh yeah, you had to have a boyfriend with a dog tag.
What do you mean the dog tag? What, like?
Just it was a necklace with a heart on it, and your name was engraved on it, or his name was engraved on it. I found it not too long ago. I can't remember where I put it. Probably in my jewelry box.
So he had one that had Linda on it, and you had one that said Ronnie?
Yes.
Was it like a half broken heart or just
No, just a heart?
And when you say like a tag, like a military, like the two,
Yeah,
the
a military chain.
but it was a heart. Okay. So that was kind of like the thing to do back then to show
that you were with somebody.
And you would wear that on the outside of your shirt, so the necklace would go on and it would fall down over your shirt. Like, how did you hide it from grandma and grandpa?
Under my shirt.
So when you got home, you would wear it, or at school would it be like? Does that make sense?
You just wore it all the time, and you just took it off when you showered or whatever.
Okay. So you dated Ronnie for a year. Why did you guys break up?
Well, I wanted him to go to church, and he didn't want to go to church, and which was silly because I only went to church for my mom and dad, not because I was really converted at that time.
And the church that you're talking about is, and I've explained this in previous videos, but the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yes.
So did Ronnie go to any church, or?
No.
Which is fine. So were you trying to get him to go to church so that grandma and grandpa would like him?
Yes.
Or, okay, so they didn't know that you had a boyfriend, but they knew you were hanging out with this guy that didn't go to church.
Yeah.
So how did grandpa handle, well, and grandma handle you having a boyfriend?
Well, grandpa never got too upset about anything. Mom would just lecture.
Like, what would that sound like? What would grandma say to you about dating Ronnie?
You marry those that you date, so you better be careful, and blah blah blah. You know, I think
I don't know what blah 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 means. Like, tell me what that means.
Like mother would say, you marry who you date, so you better be dating LDS boys, so that when you get married, you don't have to make that decision. And if he's a good boy, why are you sneaking out, and so forth and so on.
So you were sneaking out to see him?
Not all the time, but a lot of the time.
So what did your sneaking out consist of? Tell me what that plan looked like, sneaking out.
Well, I'd just go down to the end of the street, and he'd pick me up there.
But I mean, would you sneak out of your house, or would you just?
Yeah, my window went right out onto the back porch. It was easy.
What did that look like when you got caught?
Oh, I just got a lecture on how I needed to be honest, and I would say, well, yeah, but he's not LDS, and so I can't bring him home. And it was later on in the relationship, so it wasn't that big a deal, I guess.
Did you sneak out to go do other things?
Oh, yes. Yeah, not with him particularly, with my friends.
Oh, okay, with your girlfriends.
Yeah.
Did any of your
girlfriends just drag Maine all night?
drag main means getting in a car and just
Going
driving up
from
and
the
down
high
the street.
spot, one end was at the high spot, the other end was, no, it wasn't the high spot. I can't remember what the name was. It would be one end of town to the other, just checking people out, waving, honking. Let's meet up. Let's get a burger. Let's talk. I mean,
How
and we
many
just go,
how many lights did you have in the town?
maybe 3.
And is it something where the police were out at night, kind of on Main Street, making sure the kids didn't get out of hand, or what is it?
Sometimes, but it wasn't like that we ever got out of hand. We were just dragging Maine, seeing who's out there.
Okay.
Wasn't like today.
Well, so Burley, Idaho is a small farming community that is potatoes, right? What else was their big thing in Burley?
Del Monte veggies,
Okay, all right.
peas, carrots. They would harvest. It was just like potatoes, only they would harvest vegetables and fruit.
Okay, but they would bring those in, right?
Yeah, they would come
I mean,
in
there's
from
not
the
a lot of
farm.
fruit, there's not a lot of fruit coming in from Idaho, right?
No, it would
Too cold.
be just vegetables.
Okay. So the ultimate reason that you broke up was because he wouldn't come to church,
Yeah.
and grandma, I'm assuming grandma, because it sounds like grandpa was pretty chill. Grandma was putting pressure on you to just do the right thing from her
Yep.
perspective, right?
Yes.
Okay. How did you feel about that? Did you get grounded? I mean, what happened? What was the boiling point?
Well, eventually, if I remember right, and I'm not real sure, but eventually he broke it off because he didn't want it to cause problems with my parents. That's how it ended
So he broke up with you out of respect, well,
for my
somewhat respect
parents.
for the effort
Yes.
that it was going to happen to your parents.
Yes.
So did that make you more upset at your parents because that's why he
Oh, I
broke?
didn't. No, not particularly. We stayed friends with Ronnie. In fact, he passed away about, maybe 7 or 8 years ago. I remember my friend sent me the newspaper article. And I always felt bad because we always remained good friends. We even ran into each other one of our reunions, and we just were good friends. He was just nice and fun to be with. And eventually he did join the church, I was told. So
Okay.
very interesting.
Okay. Any other stories that you would like to share about when you first fell in love?
No, probably not. I think that's about it.
Do you know about Dad's first love, Grandpa? Or
I know the name. I can't remember her name, but she was from Shelley, or else it was the one he met in college.
okay, does he know about Ronnie Anderson?
I don't think so. I don't think we've ever talked about it.
Okay. All right. What advice would you give to your grandkids about falling in love?
Wait till you're 21. No, I would say you need to have a good handle on your emotions and make sure that it's the real thing and not just hormones. And you shouldn't date except in groups until you've graduated and gone on to college. You should always date in groups. I don't go for this couple thing alone. I don't think it's the right thing to do.
When you say you don't think it's the right thing to do because you think it brings on it could bring on problems, or what?
Yeah, I just don't think it's good for a boy and girl to be together alone in a car or in a place where they're alone. I just don't think it's healthy.
So looking back at your own kids, I think everybody but Megan had a serious boyfriend or girlfriend in high school.
Pretty much.
How do you feel like that? And this is not to exclude Megan. I'm just going.
They were good people, and it didn't bother me so much. I guess that's weird, isn't it? They all had.
So Aaron was dating Jen, I think, if I remember correctly, right?
From Springville, and others.
Laura was Jent's, I think, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And then Kelly and I were dating in high school. Okay. So the advice that you would give to your grandkids is wait till they're 21
Well, I'm
Wait.
just kidding on that.
Oh,
I'm
no,
just saying.
wait till they're mature enough to make decisions without emotion. So, okay, so let me back up. Can I put this another way and ask you, would you suggest that your grandkids wait until they figure out who they are before they try and date somebody else? Or
Just stay in group dates and be friends.
stay in group dates and be friends? Okay. What do you think about if you have grandkids now that they're 21, 22, 23. If one of your grandkids fell in love with somebody of 14, how would you explain to them? What would you tell them?
First of all, I think they need to recognize the difference between love and, what is love? What is the commitment? Why do you love this person? Or is it just she thinks you're cute or he thinks you're cute? I don't know how to, I don't know. I would just tell them to be cautious and not, like Dad's thing is you have to date somebody in between every date you have with that person.
Yeah, I remember. So going back then, do you feel like, it's hard to think about now as a 76-year-old, but as a 14 and 15-year-old, do you feel like you loved Ronnie?
I feel like I did. I did.
As much as a 14 or a 15-year-old could.
Yeah, because it wasn't like real. I just liked it when they kissed me. It felt good. And so I thought I was in love. I know that sounds silly, but back then, and it wasn't even, people back then didn't even use passionate kisses. It was usually just a peck on the lips. It wasn't like making out type stuff.
Right. Okay. So again, the advice that you would give, the advice that you would give to your grandchildren or great grandchildren.
Just stay friends, date in groups, and don't date the same person all the time.
Okay. What other ways did you know that you were in love?
Well, he would buy me nice things like my favorite perfume, or he would take me to places for dinner and things like that. And so
So did
I
he
thought
have a good job? Did he have, obviously he had a nice car and had a good job. Did his family have money?
No, he was very poor, but he worked. I can't remember where he worked. Can't remember.
How did you afford to buy him things? You had a job too. You were working at the High Point, is what you said.
At the high spot, and then I had a job at the bakery, Safeway Bakery.
Okay. All right. Okay. Am I missing anything?
No, I'll think about it while you're talking about the other stuff.
I don't have anything else. That's kind of what I was just
dating for tonight.
That's it. Just one question. It'll
Oh,
just be
that
just one question a night for 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay.
And if we go off to other things, I want to stay focused on the question, but
Okay,
there's
that's
other
fine.
things in there, and that's fine. So, okay. All right. I'm going to stop recording and then I can answer. So I don't know when, hold on.
I'll do that thing for Ian in the